where do we start? Obviously, if we're talking about a video game collection, we should probably start with the games. So, let's take a look. This is actually my TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine Homebrew game shelf. I set this up specifically to hold my TurboGrafx collection. What you see here is every US released game for the TurboGrafx 16. So what I have is basically generic chip cases that I collected, and I just printed out a generic sort of spine for those games that did not originally have a jewel case of their own, so that way they fit amongst the TurboGrafx 16 games. The PC Engine is what the TurboGrafx 16 is known as in Japan. It was very popular there, unlike when it came over here. So as a result, there are a lot of great games that for one reason or another didn't make it over here. This is sort of my stack of PC Engine games. I started buying the ones that I thought were very interesting. I kind of made a mental list of ones I wanted to pick up, and every so often I'll pick one up here or there when I see one that I want to get. Most of them are above average games that I really like. This is what you always see in my reviews. I plug it into the TurboDuo and the game fits in the front. So I have this one. I actually bought this way back in the day. So this is an old PC Engine converter. Of course, as with video game systems in general, you have people creating games, homebrew games. And I have a couple of American homebrew games. One's called Implode and one is called Meteor Blaster DX. And they're both kind of fun, unique games that I'll give the people credit who designed them, something different. Of course, if you watched TurboViews Extra number 1 and number 2, you know about my TurboGrafx 16 and CD-ROM. And here it is basically in the container. This is the original TurboGrafx system. This is the Super System card. It's labeled version 3.0. And basically what it did is it turned your TurboGrafx 16 into a Super CD-ROM machine, which is what you needed in order to play Super CD games. When I bought this, I also got the Gate of Thunder disc along with it, which had a bunch of games on it, and Gate of Thunder, which is an awesome shooter. Now subsequently that has been updated, but it was only updated in Japan, and it's called the arcade card. This is the arcade card from Japan. It was the next evolutionary step, sort of. It just never made it to America because TurboGrafx was done by then. So I do have the Arcade Card Pro, and I have a couple games that I have yet to play for it, such as Fatal Fury Special and Strider. So we still got some stuff to play, that's for sure. This is my TurboDuo. This is the box for the TurboDuo. If you look anytime I play any of the games and you see the TurboDuo on the screen, that's the one that goes in this box. This is my Turbo Express in its original box. It still works. Original packaging, the whole deal, the manual. I don't have that little cover, but it's in great shape still. And I used it a lot. I took it to school a lot with me. I was the only person that had one, so it was kind of unique and fun at the time. I also have the Turbo Express TV tuner, and then I have an AC adapter for the Turbo Express as well. The Turbo Express is kind of obscure and unique, and this is the most obscure system that I have, I think, in my entire collection, and that is the TurboGrafx. This was to be the successor to the TurboGrafx in Japan. It didn't catch on at all, but I always wanted one. I always wanted one, and so I ended up picking one up. You know, it's in great shape, has all the hookups. It really hasn't been used much, still has all the original packaging. I got a few extra accessories here, along with a couple of extra turbo pads and stuff that I have laying around. I have the Turbo Tap, which we use for multiplayer games. I have the Turbo Pad controller for the TurboDuo. This is actually an extra one, aside from the one that I use now. This one's actually broken. And then we have the TurboGrafx 16 Duo adapter, which pretty much connected the TurboDuo with the TurboGrafx accessories if you had any of those. And the Turbo Stick, essentially the NES advantage of the TurboGrafx 16. I used this a lot when I was a kid, and it's a great little accessory. This is my original TurboGrafx 16 box. which I pretty much use to store extra goodies. And if we pull the extra goodies out, we can take a look at what's in there. This is pretty much my extra manuals and stuff that I have accumulated along the way. Other things that I have found, if we take a closer look at some of them, catalogs, stuff like that. A Yo Bro poster. Here's a bunch of $50 coupons. Good for $5 cash back when you buy any of the following. Expires June 30th, 1993. I think I might be too late. I'm not a completist collector in that I don't really care to collect everything as long as it has the original jewel case, if it had one, with the original insert and spine label, original game and manual. So I don't really collect the boxes if there were any, but I do have some boxes. This is my collection of Turbo Play magazine. I have every single Turbo Play magazine that came out during the Turbo Play era. I also have a couple of Duo World when it turned into Duo World. I'm still looking for like one or two. And then I have Turbo Force. There were a few issues of Turbo Force as well. But the Turbo Play magazines really are special to me because I really, really loved that magazine. It was so neat to have something unique that nobody else had. Kind of like Nintendo Power had for Nintendo. This is the TurboGrafx 16 TurboDuo promotional video. I think this was a mail away that I happened to get in the mail one time. TurboGrafx and Turbo Express Secrets by Russell Demaria and Andy Eddy. I have Volume 1 and Volume 2. Hudson CD Game Music Collection 1993. I got this one off of, I believe it was TurboZone Direct. I'm not 100% sure. But it basically has music from like Dragon Slayer, Lords of Thunder, Riot Zone, Dungeon Explorer 2. It's kind of neat. It's got some great music because just in general, TurboGrafx is awesome music. And a TurboGrafx 16 carry case. Not exactly sure where I got this, but it's kind of cool. And I'm sure there's a couple little things I'm missing, but that's essentially it. I'm not really a collector per se, but once in a while I'll pick up something that I think is cool. But really for me it was more the games. It was more the games. That's what it's all about, and I'm very happy with my collection of games. And the other stuff is just fun, nostalgic memories. So I hope you enjoyed my collection. Thanks for watching.